So here I am at one of the locations that I've actually done a school bus hunter at, looking at some used buses for sale. All of these, from this one all the way down, that CE on the end's not up for auction yet, but it will be soon from what they said. But all these are for sale on auction at the moment. Auction ends Monday. Today is Thursday, so go ahead and start with this one. I'm only here because I am mainly interested in three out of all of these buses, but maybe only ending up with two. One of them being for fun, the other one being for more practical use. But here's 703 from Greenup County, Kentucky. Still got the operator's manual in it, which I thought was pretty cool. We'll get to why it was retired and partially parted out here momentarily, but let's see. And there's your mileage. But it's got some parts taken from it, as you can see. Windows missing, and they took the turbo off of it and stuff like that. One thing I thought was interesting is this little window actually has latches. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. I thought that was cool. But you can see some of the damage from in here. Pretty gnarly damage. They backed into a tree, and just bus was too old for them to want to fix it. Too many miles, and so they decided to just go ahead and let it go. And its sister is also down there on the end, also with some damage. But yeah, number 703. Can't kind of see it where it says Greenup County. You can see on this one right here, but they painted it over. And this rear end has been replaced before, as you can see. It's a different shade than the rest of the bus, but yeah, I can see why they decided to go ahead and let this one go instead of fixing it. But next up, basically, I want one of these two Bluebird Internationals. I think it'd be pretty cool. They need some work to get up to my spec, but they'll be alright. One thing I did notice about these, it's a Kentucky thing, apparently. The tires are smaller than what I'm used to. I'm used to 11 R22.5s. These are 75 R22.5s. So they're smaller. And these are retreads. I like the tires on this one better than the other one. But side door, I think it's locked. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. Here we go. Don't know if I've ever seen that bar there on a side door. I wonder what that's for. I don't know. But, no seat here. And go ahead and shut this back. It's got one of those fancy stop signs where it just flashes the word stop. The engine on this one looks awesome. Now, I've not looked at the maintenance records or anything. It's got some scratches right here, but that could be touched up. This whole hood could use touched up, really. If it, at least a good wax, not a full repaint. But Noah's calling me. I'll have to call him back here in a moment. But there's the engine. Looks like it's either a newer motor or they just repainted it, or just took really good care of it for some reason. Like this one just ended up staying a really good shade of blue. Normally they look more like that, but we'll get to 48. Now, I probably won't open the hood on it, but this is 47, of course. Walking over here, I'm guessing the 32 quarts is for oil. I'm not 100% sure on that, but transmission 16 quarts. These have AT 545s, which I'm not a huge fan of, but as long as, price is right, I'd be willing. But yeah, everything under here looks pretty good. So let me disengage that hood prop and close this hood. And we will get inside of this one. The springs like to get stuck, apparently. I figured that out. And with this being Kentucky spec, it's got the fender signals on it, which I thought was neat. Go in here real quick. Of course, 466 doghouse. This one is showing 105,000 miles. And I'm guessing that's accurate because this is also accurate, unless they just replace the odometer, which normally I figure they'd probably just replace the entire thing. But this bus is in really good shape. The auction, oh gosh, that is terrible. Ugh. That would need lubricated, and also I'd probably just replace it with one of my Freightliner driver seats. But they said this stepwell is really bad, but on the auction, but no, it's very solid. The only thing that's wrong with it really is right here. You can see, you know, it's got a crack in it. It's separating. And right here, I felt just a little bit soft on the back end of the step there. You know, if I sat there and kind of shook the bus a little bit with my weight. But it's solid. It's still solid. They just don't want to haul kids that way. This bus is too old for them to want to put the money into it. The mechanic said if it was his choice, he'd just put the money into it, keep running it. But yeah, I mean, it's still solid. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna, if I go for one, I'm gonna go for 48 because the stepwell in 47 is just dog crap. But no, it's fine. Now here's a shifter, AT545. Says RND 321. That's 545. Said RND 421, being Allison 2000, which is what I was hoping for. But oh well. Now here's the inside view of the rear door. Of course, no seat. Blue seats, blue floor, blue walls. Typical Kentucky, you know, setup. Notice this seat back, the fabric is different than the rest. You see this is the typical pigskin sort of fabric. And this is I think this is from a Thomas, honestly. Either that or an older Bluebird. But looks more like a Thomas to me. It's a 66 passenger. So, you know, it's not full size, but it's not tiny either. It's not, I'd say it's lower full size. I know full size, I guess technically would be, you know, can't order it any bigger, but I kind of consider just larger buses full size. So like 66 passenger through whatever it is now, 83 passenger for a conventional. Typically I just go 77, 78, whatever is the higher end on that. But I also noticed, well, we'll get to that here in 48, because they are sisters. They're both 2002s. But yeah, this one, I was kind of leaning more towards this one also, because inside there's a little thing. I also have a video of this one on my channel. I have a walk around of this one back when it was still in service. So I thought that was pretty neat. Coming in here, you know, I'll walk around the outside here in a minute, but it's also got the same setup in here. It's got, this is what I was talking about, Millennium Edition sticker. You don't see those very often. These were, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they were just kind of given to the customer for them to do whatever. I think most people just either threw them away or put them in their pocket. They didn't actually put them on the bus. So you don't see those Millennium Edition stickers very often. So I thought that was really cool, but it's not, you know, worth the whole bus just for a sticker, you know. So here's this if you need it. I think the other one was M111735 for the body number, I think. Here's this also if you need it. This one has had the gauge cluster replaced 832 hours ago, or 12,726 miles ago. This is definitely a replacement. They even confirmed that. There's no way this bus only has 12,000 miles on it. Here's the switch panel. They took a switch off. These also have the IC mirrors. I forget exactly what they're called. Somebody told me, but I forgot. They are heated and they are power adjust. I am getting new Avia mirrors. Well, not new, but you know, off of another bus. And that's what I was kind of waiting on a Bluebird International to put them on, but they don't have this adjustment here. So I thought this was interesting. There's no AM/FM radio, but here's the door switch, warning light master switch, amber switch, cross arm cancel, and then the noise suppression for railroad tracks. And this one only has one dome light switch. It's got two fan switches. I forget what this one is. It's missing. If it's even anything, it may have just been a cover. Strobe light and heated mirrors. So it's kind of a little bit bare bones, but honestly, it's not that bad. Like, I don't mind. Of course, this one's all blue in here too, but you know, All these seats in here. And I believe it's, well, there's more than just one in here that's been replaced with Thomas fabric. Like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. I mean, there's probably more in that one too. This one. But that one has more Bluebird fabric in it. My blue seats have the older style fabric in them where it looks more like the Thomas one, but it's also a much lighter shade. So it really wouldn't fit in here very well unless I did the entire bus, which I could, but then I'd take away from 23. So walk around the back of this one real quick. And this one's got straight tread on the rear, which I'm not a fan of. And it's also a lot lower than the other one. And that's the thing I got to take into account, because I really don't want to spend another $1,100 on tires like I just did for 23. So this one's got some damage here too, I just noticed. But nah, it's not bad. It's not going to really hurt anything. Next up is bus 50. This one is a 2004 FS65. You can see why they retired it. You can see that panel used to be right here. Rust hole, rust hole, and they just pulled it. This, I believe, was in the last School Bus Hunter that I filmed almost 4 years, almost 3 years ago. No, almost 4 years ago at this point. So this one's been retired for a while. But he said it runs fine. This one, I believe he said, had a 3126. But I think in 04 they started the C7. They still offered the 3126 for like the first little part of it, so it might have it, but I'm pretty sure it'd have a C7 in it. I haven't popped the hood to check. There's this. This is not the last one I'm interested in. We'll get to that one next, but it's got the newer gauge cluster in it and everything. But automatic, I'm not sure exactly what transmission that is. Probably Allison 2000. Here's the inside of the bus. I'm not going to walk all the way back, but low headroom Thomas Freightliner. The hood on this one, I didn't open it, but it's missing crossover mirror bracket. But otherwise, it seems to be in pretty decent shape. This one is the one that I'm interested in, and it's not for, you know, oh, I'm going to save it, I'm going to drive it around, have fun with it. This one is basically going to replace my storage unit, and this hood is going to replace 23's hood. So basically, I'm paying $50 a month per bus, and I'm also paying $50 a month for a storage unit that's like I think an 8x24 storage unit. And basically, I can get an 8 by like 30 something storage unit, 40 something maybe, not 40, but you know, 8 by, let's say, 36 storage unit, essentially, if I were to buy a bus and just store everything in the bus. And I'd also get a new hood for 23 out of it. We're gonna pop the hood on this one. It's got a C7 A-cert in it. This is a 2005. It's also got cross-arm base that I need for 23. So basically, Freightliner parts that I need for 23, I can just pull off to this one, as long as it's not engine parts. Well, some of it might transfer, but I don't know how much of it would, where this is a C7 and 23 is a 3126. Okay, it doesn't want to open. Feels like it's catching over here on something. There we go. So basically, 23, the issue I'm having with the hood is that the hinges here, it's a common issue with Freightliners. They break right at the hinges, right under here. And, you know, that's not good, because you don't want your hood to be broken. This has had the repair kit, those white panels. 23 has also had the repair kit, but then the repair kit broke underneath the repair kit. So it's just kind of, you know, hood's kind of garbage now. So this would be really good for 23 as a hood, because not only that, but it's got the crossover mirrors that I want. I wanted specifically a hood from a Thomas Freightliner because the crossover mirrors. But also, I think about putting a black hood on it. You can see, I didn't even notice this until I got here and looking at it. It's got the lines for the black hood. I guess for like the non-gloss hood top like Ohio does. But I didn't even notice this mechanic did. But he said somebody might have taken a sensor or something off right over there. But he said this one runs strong, runs great. So it'd be a good runner for especially what I need it for. So if I can get it cheap enough, it'd be worth the expense. And if I ever get done with it, I can just sell it as is to whoever, you know, take all my crap out of it and just either scrap it or do whatever I need to with it. But it'd be a good storage unit, even if I get a place of my own, a house, you know, like an actual house of my own, and have some land to actually have a storage unit on. Well, this just says Greenup County School. Nice. I just noticed that. But it's got the newer Thomas emblem on it. It doesn't have the rivets. Got adhesive on the back like they do now. Coming in here, same deal. Blue floor, blue seats, blue walls, blue everything. I'm blue, abadi, abuda, whatever. Don't know how many miles are on this one. But there's that. Basically, my plan would be just maybe keep the front row just in case I need to move it and somebody's with me. But other than that, it'd just be my mobile storage unit to keep at the storage lot or home, whatever I end up doing with it. But cutting all the seats out from here back, scrapping them, probably saving some of the fabric in the bottoms in case anybody ever needs them. But just going ahead and clearing it all out and basically getting stuff to cover the windows for privacy's sake. So that way people aren't looking in here to see what I've got. And putting an actual lock on the outside of the rear door or the side door and the rear door. Maybe I'll put them inside and or maybe I'll just do the outside lock on the side door here and then inside lock on these other two. So that way, you know, people aren't going to think, oh, there's a door on the side, because they're probably used to West Virginia buses, but unless they rode a rear engine. But anyways, I'd cross that bridge when I get there. But basically, using this as mobile storage unit, just clearing all of it out, putting all my crap in here, and having more room to store my crap. So, and if I need to move it, I can move it. Basically, if I need to load something into this, and it's coming from another bus, I can move this to a better position where I can adjust the other bus to put stuff in here, essentially. So it'd just be more economical for me to do that. And, you know, there's a gas station just up the road that sells diesel. I could just take it up there if I need to fill it up, put like a few gallons in it just to keep me good for a couple months, whatever. I'd fill it up before I parked it, of course, just so that way I have the diesel in it in case I ever need to move it. Start it over the winter, make sure everything's fine. Whenever I'm done with it, pull the motor, just pay somebody to pull the motor and they can keep it. I don't care. I'd figure out what to do with it whenever I get there, but it'd be good for parts and good for storage. Here's the last one. So this one, just like its sister 703, was wrecked, but this one rolled over. So I'm not sure exactly or how it rolled over, but it rolled over. As you can see, there's a lot of damage to the side of this bus. And this one is definitely totaled. This is not on the website yet, but I'm guessing it will be soon. So this video might even be up by the time this is up. So be on Gov Deals if anybody really wants it, but I wouldn't. I have no use for an IC, especially a totaled one. Well, a second gen, really. I kind of want a second gen, but it's one of those things that I'd rather have something else. So I'm going to go for that other thing. But there's this side. Go in here. A bunch of mud on the step well and all over in here. And there's that. If you want to see it. This one has 205,987 miles, so just under 206,000. But yeah, this one got messed up. Like I said, not sure exactly of the circumstances as to why it rolled over, but it rolled over. There's that. And I'm going to cut this video off before it gets to 20 minutes because I don't want to keep you all too long, and I want to be able to upload this somewhat decently. So that is the for sale buses here at Greenup County. Thank you for watching. I'll let you know what I end up doing.